I love plants so much, and going to a nursery is always so much fun. But really, as a maximalist, for me, it's about multiplying as many plants at home as I can. It's so incredible, it brings me so much joy. You also save money and can clone the really important things that you want to keep in your garden. So today I'm going to show you how you can multiply plants using seeds, doing cuttings, and also dividing some of your favourites. I really love this plant, but it's in the wrong location. It's this incredible hedgehog sage. It has these beautiful blue cone-like flowers, and it flowers during the year when not a lot of other things are flowering. It's important to use a good quality propagation mix that's free draining and can hold moisture. I use the same mix for all my methods, but in the wetter months I use a pure coarse sand mix, and in the dry months I use half the sand and half of a good quality seed raising mix. Now I like taking really long cuttings of this perennial. I find that long cuttings work a bit better, especially over the cooler months. And so I start off by cutting just below the leaf joint or the node there, and then I just trim all the foliage off so that the cutting doesn't need to support all this foliage while it's forming a root zone. I'm going to dip the node into a rooting hormone, and then I'm going to place it into that hole and just settle the mix around it. And it's very easy just to keep repeating until I've got a fabulous amount of cuttings all in this one pot. Now into the greenhouse for 2 to 3 weeks, or you can find a nice sunny warm spot. This is one of my favourites. It's a Calandrinia grandiflora. It has these incredible long flower stems that have these violet purple flowers, and it's also so prolific. I can take so many cuttings from this one plant and really multiply it in my garden. Now that I have all these succulent cuttings, it's really quite straightforward to remove all the foliage and get them ready to put into the tray. With all the succulents, it can be really great if you let them callus and let the wounds heal for 1 to 2 weeks. This is a cotyledon that I've already calloused, so the end is nice and dry, and it will help avoid that cutting from rotting. With some of these succulents, instead of callousing them, I'm not going to water this tray to 1 to 2 weeks so that I don't have that risk of rotting. It is just so easy to propagate succulents, and in 6 weeks we'll have these babies in the garden. Now, division is one of the simplest ways to multiply plants. It's such a great technique to use with any kind of clumping perennial, strappy things like kangaroo paws, and any kind of grass. It's so easy just to multiply all these plants because you're literally just cutting them in half. Now I've lifted this beautiful lilac kangaroo paw from my verge, and now I'm going to separate it into smaller pieces so that I can have more in my front garden. It's simply just a case of breaking this big clump into smaller sections. I can do it by hand. I can use secateurs to help cut it up. Tough old things. And when I've got some smaller pieces, I can give them a little bit of a clean up, taking away some of that old foliage so they have a nice healthy start, and any old fans that aren't going to flower more of these beautiful paws. So now I have them ready so I can plant them straight into the garden. I'm using the lift and divide technique on some of my favourite perennials. This is a beautiful Delphinium blue sensation. Use a sharp spade to dig around the plant and lift it, and I'll be able to separate it from a garden. It's best to split perennials when they're larger, about 2 to 3 years old. And this is a fabulous little Salvia Aztec blue, likewise pretty blue flowers. So now I've lifted them, I'm going to prune off the flowers, half the foliage and cut each clump in half. Now I'm going to go and plant these in the garden because they're a bit bigger. But if they're a little on the small side, you can be safe and pot them up in good quality potting mix and keep them somewhere nice and warm for about 8 weeks so they really develop that root system. Another great way to grow plants is to grow things from seed. It's an incredible technique and there's so many things that you can grow from seed. It's amazing to be part of that whole life cycle from saving to growing something. But for me, it's all about the annual flowers when it comes to seed. It's incredible to be able to have a massive plants that you can pop into your garden and have those amazing flowers. Now this seed is from one of my favourite plants, Clarkia elegans, and I collected this seed from my verge. Clarkias are these incredible wildflowers from California. They're really dry tolerant, but they have these beautiful delicate flowers. It's wonderful to grow. So to sow it, I've got my sow tray ready. I'm going to fill it up with my seed raising mix. So now that's settled, I'm just going to carefully take little pinches of this seed and make sure I've got maybe 2 or 3 seeds in each little cell. Now Clarkias are such a small fine seed, I'm just placing them on top. If it was a bigger seed, I'd be sowing the seed as deep as they are long so that it has some propagation mix over the top. The next thing I'll do is to put a fine layer of vermiculite over the top to hold the water to the seed. Now it's time to water and to pop them into the greenhouse until you've got seedlings. After they've developed their second set of leaves, you can pot them up and, depending on the time of year, either keep them sheltered or outside in warmer weather. There is so much joy when it comes to maximising the amount of plants you can squeeze into a garden, and it is so simple when you can use different techniques to really multiply them and really create that impact. So I hope you try it at home.